Going on, guys? Welcome back to the Extract. I'm Killer Smiley, and today I'm going to give you a customs walkthrough in Escape from Tarkov. Now, I've played the game for about 2,500 hours, or many years and multiple wipes, so I thought I'd put what I know about the map to paper in the form of this video. What that's going to look like is me going into an offline raid and pretty much commenting on anything that pops into my mind in a normal raid. You know, like spawns, what I'm looting, where I'm looking, but primarily the routes that I'm taking to optimize survivability. Because, you know, as a new Tarkov player, you're just kind of thrown into the meat grinder with no map, no HUD, and you're expected to swim. Getting from point A to point B can be quite the challenge, and I think map knowledge is one of the biggest aspects that makes a good Tarkov player a good Tarkov player. So I think it's crucial information if you want to be good at the game. I hope this video will at least be a good starting point for you. Obviously, there's a lot of content to cover on any given map, especially customs, so I'll most likely make individualized videos on the different aspects of customs, like dorms. If you have any questions though, feel free to throw them down in the comments. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so we're spawned in over at the trailer park, which if I bring the map on over, trailer park is in this north east side of the map, the top right corner. So generally speaking, when it comes to extracts, they're going to be on the opposite side of the map. So on the opposite side, we got ZB 1011 and 1012. That's pretty much the direction you're going to have to go to extract if you spawn in anywhere on this side of the map. So we're going to move through the map, taking the southern hemisphere. The southern hemisphere, like this kind of area, has more foliage, has more trees. In my opinion, it's a safer route because of those obstacles, those variables. It conceals movement. If you take it slow, you should be fine, looking in the right places, as opposed to taking the northern hemisphere, which is primarily an industrial warehouse district. You know, there's cover and stuff. There's less things to, you know, block vision. People can spot you easier. There's a lot of different tasks in those kinds of areas. So generally speaking, I think it's more populated, especially when it comes to player scavs later on in the raid. We will take that route, but we're going to start off taking the southern hemisphere, which is my preferred route for, you know, the greatest survivability. So we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, let's get started. So this is the storage area, trailer park, whatever you want to call it. There's a potential good loot in there, like sledgehammer spawns. There's bags, there's medical bags. You can get a graphics card and trash can spawn. So if you want to come in here and loot, it's not bad for your hideout. If you're looking for scavs spawn in this area. But when I'm taking this route, where I'm looking is down here. So potentially somebody could be right there. If they're quick, they'd really have to be running there to be there. You might hear people on the other side in the other aisles. If that's the case, then take it how, you know, you want to take it. If you're looking for a quick out, there is this corner. But yeah, so when I get to this point, I'm checking this, checking my corners. And then this is where the probability of seeing somebody goes up. So there's definitely spawns over by that power pylon, whatever you call it, and the train, and they could be coming this way. So you might meet them at Crate 44. So when I'm coming through here, sometimes I even go around this, depending upon the situation. If I think it's safe, I'll just go ahead and move up. But this is that trash can spawn I was talking about. You can get like a GPU. Oh, no fucking way. Okay, see? There's a GPU spawn here, guys. Use it. Holy shit. That's the first time I've seen that this way. Yeah, so check that. When you're there, keep checking 44. If you hear stuff, you know, take it how you will. But once you get to this corner, also check down this aisle. When people come in from Crate 44, sometimes they like to go that route. And there's also a hole in the wall. that they can come into these like storage things. When you're coming around, give it a quick peek and move on. I like to call this given trunk. There's some stuff that can spawn in there, like guns and stuff. And I also loot crate 44. There's a jacket, there's a weapon crate right there, weapon crate right there. And then I'll keep on moving. What I'm getting right here, I'm definitely, you know, glassing that way. See, this is a scav spawn again from this storage area to Big Red. They could be in this ravine, all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking, seeing if anybody's over there. But once I get to committing, I'm looking left, checking these corners and bushes, because you never know, there could be a rat. But yeah, so now we're coming up on Big Red. And Big Red, if you don't know, is a pretty popular building. There's some tasks in there. There's a safe in there, some cute computers, bunch of stuff to loot. So if you're looking for loot and you have the key for the upper level there, by all means, hit it. But it is definitely, you know, a higher risk. You have a pretty good chance of running into somebody. There's actually a spawn in there. So if you're trying to avoid PvP or just optimize your survivability, I would avoid it. You can take the road around. Like, say you did hear somebody in there, go ahead and take the road around. But let's say coast is clear so far, everything's going smooth. I'll come in here and go towards this blue house. And then while I'm moving this direction, I'm looking this way. People can come from right there, and somebody might be already underneath this. So when I'm coming through here, I'm like looking over there. I usually go behind this thing to kind of break that, to give me some cover and not just be in the open. And just assess the situation as you would. If this door is open, somebody's been through here, right? So check to make sure that's closed. Some stuff to loot in here, you know, trying to get some hideout stuff, maybe a early morphine or Salewa. And then you got two routes here. You can go through the door and hit the road to meet up with that other route. Personally, I think this is a greater risk. There's not a lot of cover here. You got, you know, some trash cans and cars, but cars aren't the best cover. And there's bushes. And again, this was a spawn. Somebody might be even be coming from across the bridge to this location. And getting caught in this spot is more challenging than other spots to take. So if you're trying to play it safe, I don't take this route. Again, if you're confident nobody's there, take it. It's quicker, I guess, if you're trying to go to smugglers. But I'm going for this hole right here. And as I move through this, obviously I'm, you know, looking around. Some people like to hide under these, whatever this landing's called. And then when I get to this, I'm also looking down here, because people can come through these holes. Maybe they're trying to get over to Big Red. So just being cautious. And then when I'm coming through, I'm looking left. And then I'm going to pop right under this. All right. So I like this because you have a lot of, like, nobody can see you. You have a lot of obstruction from this entire angle. And yeah, this is open, but you're only doing it for a quick moment. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna get killed this way playing it tonight, I bet. But I've never died crawling through this thing, like from this angle. Like it's never happened. So I think you're pretty safe doing that. And I think it's one of the safer routes to take. So to get to the other side of this river here, which runs like this, north to south, there's 4 paths. Let me get somewhere where I can see the 4 paths. So there's this land bridge. There's this land bridge. There's the main bridge. And then there's Smuggler's Bridge. So Smuggler's Bridge is the loudest bridge. If you get stuck on it, it's the worst one to get stuck on. It's loud. You got the wood, you got the metal, and it takes about like a full sprint, especially early wipe, to get across. And there's a bunch of bushes on the other side somebody can be hiding in. So it comes with its dangers. I take it, but you never know. Main bridge, it has advantages. A lot of people take it. You can be, you have the height. You can see down the other bridges. I think it's the most noticeable one to be on, though, if from other positions in the map. Like these bridges are low, as you can see, I'm coming down a hill, and it's kind of like a valley. So when you're going down, yes, it's an advantage to be high and seeing everything, but it's not sneaky. Like people are they're going to spot you if they're looking. When you're coming down through here, yeah, like if they're on the bridge, they can spot you, but they're going to have to kind of peek over these ledges in order and give themselves away a little bit. And it's a little hazy today, but you'll be able to see them too. So personally, I think if you're going to take the safest bridge, it's this one right here. Of course you can go up here and check your, clear your corners. There's like a cabin thing right here. Make sure some people like to snipe on top of that thing. And then if you have a scope, definitely check right here. People like to snipe on top of this. So before you move across the bridge, just check those things. Maybe somebody's underneath the bridge, give it a little scope. Maybe people like to go in here and kind of snipe across sometimes. I mean, at least I do. Some people like to sit on this, some rats. Check over here. You might see some scavs at this point because scavs spawn along this road. Once coast is clear, I prefer taking this bridge. If you get engaged by a fight, you can kind of come over this lip a little bit and do the same thing on the other side. You have these bushes to break vision. So I think when you weigh the pros and cons of each bridge, that's the safest one. If we wanted to take the industrial route, we'd go up this way. But like we said, we're going to take the southern hemisphere. And I'm going to move underneath this bridge. So when I'm moving underneath this bridge, I, give a quick look back, see if anybody's over there. But we came from there, so that chances are pretty slim. And then I'm just blasting these bushes. Taking it slow. I don't need to run through all these bushes. You'll probably be hearing scavs too. Scavs spawn up on this road as well, which a lot of people call ice cream. They're going to be all around here, all the way up to Sniper Roadblock. If you want to engage them, engage them. But if you're trying to optimize survival, just head this way. Definitely watch out for this rock. This is a spawn. By now, people are probably gone. There's an extract here too. You never know if somebody's trying to exfil camp or whatever. So when you're moving up towards this corner, just look back towards this area. So when I come up to like right here, I'm looking back, checking the scavs, seeing if anybody's up there. And there's a quest spot right here. I'm just assessing the situation, moving across. Always come in here and check this table. There's gonna be a weapon repair kit or armor repair kit. And then going on further towards dorms. So this is gonna be the hottest area of the journey for sure. Dorms, if you're not familiar, is a building full of PvP. A boss can spawn in there, and there's tasks, and people just like dorms. I prefer going up to clear out this hill. Part of good survivability is not just, being scared and moving along the side of the map the entire way. You got to think about positions and what positions are best in an area and securing them and moving forward rather than just hugging something that it really puts you in a bad spot. So, not to mention people like to sit up here. So when I'm moving up this hill, you gotta be really careful of these bushes. Maybe somebody's doing setup. Look for that white hat. And dorms is right there. You can take the route to go around towards car, but I don't think that's very safe. I'm going through this middle route right here. So, careful. It's a hot area. More than one way to do it. But approach this hill. Don't be a wimp. Clear it. Now that I've cleared it, maybe look around, assess the situation now that you got the high ground. Never stop moving. There might be people coming along this road to go to dorms, so just kind of look. I'm giving myself a good distance from dorms so they don't hear me. Never run through the forest unless you're very confident in your ability. Or you're like certain nobody's there, because it's the easiest way to die in this game. Just bolting through one of these types of areas. I'm looking at all these bushes. So now that I'm here, you might be hearing scavs around here, coming up and down this road. You need to kill them, kill them. Do your thing. If you're looking for more loot, there's a stash that can spawn in here in this corner. But we're coming up to the bus station, which is this green fence. So, saving up enough stamina for this run. Always use your sprint to cross I don't know if this is even a word, but unconcealed terrain. When you're moving through concealed terrain, don't run if you're trying to, increase your survivability. Running is for, combat and getting across sketchy stuff like this. So yeah, when I'm coming up to here, you see this pipe. Now you can run at it, lay down and crawl under, but it ends right here. So I run this route and I'm going to the back of this blue thing, because when I'm running across here, I'm looking left towards dorms. Maybe somebody's over there. When I'm coming around right here, I'm also looking this way. You see how the way I kind of ran was like a zigzag. I ran this way, kind of looked towards dorms, and when I came around here, I was already naturally looking that way. And so if somebody's over here, you can get a right shoulder peek and check these positions. And now if somebody was there, I got cover. Maybe sniper scavs up here. Give him a little love tap. And I can also look back towards 2-story dorms. Not to mention, look at this. Can't see me. So this is a good spot to stop, get your stamina, and assess the situation. Once you're ready to go, I'm going to move toward this back fence line. Now, you're going to be a little loud here hitting these bushes, but not loud enough for them to hear you in dorms. And when I'm moving through here, this is your primary focus, because if somebody just happens to come there, this is a very easy shot to line up, right? If you wanted to, you can maybe like give it a wide berth, but honestly, see how this is like a hill? Look how exposed I am. Somebody could be right there. Somebody could be along here. Somebody even in bus station could shoot me. The scavs could aggro me. So personally, I don't think avoiding this wall promotes your survivability. I think, yes, might be somebody right there, but that is one spot. When you're up there, you got 365 degrees of spots people could be. So at least I can control the angles. And see how I'm kind of like looking this way too. When you're moving along a wall, nobody's that way, right? So if you look at my FOV, I'm putting the wall at the side of my FOV and kind of glassing this way. So, maximizing what I can see. Now, if you're looking for more loot, there's another stash right there. There's not really any loot inside bus station. But this is a little tough area to get through because there's a lot of foliage. There's some scavs that can be here and you might run into a player. But, You gotta do what you gotta do. Wherever you go, it's gonna be dangerous. It's Tarkov. But at least when you're in a spot like this, kind of like with that thing I was talking about earlier with the valley, you're in a hole. Like, look, I'm looking up, which means people who can see you, it's obstructing vision. So it's limiting the possibilities. At least when I'm looking up, I can see their silhouettes rather than me being in a spot and I can see you from a mile away. But what I'm doing is kind of moving up towards this railroad. Now, there's a boss spawn, and this is called New Gas. I'll just, I guess, go up here and show you real quick. The bus station. Or not bus station, a gas station. We're going to avoid this area. If you want to look for the boss, Rashala, do your thing, be my guest. But we're avoiding that. And we're going to take this left route. So there's a stash spawn right there if you want a little bit more loot. But just like before, we're limiting our sight lines. And this is the only sight line that can see us. And it's the exact way we're looking. Be right there. So that's what we're controlling. I'm going to move through here. Now nobody can see us from this way, so we're looking this way. Again, we're still in kind of a valley. This is what I'm avoiding. Going through here. Look how open it is. You can kind of have some, you know, path that way. And if you get shot, laid down or something. But I think you're better off going this way and hitting that barbed wire. That's usually remote survivability. And I'm just controlling what can see me and what I can see. Once you're about here, that angle is no longer a problem. And now I'm just going on the opposite side of the fence and going this way. Some people might be using this cliffside to shoot into New Gas. So if you have a scope, by all means, check those angles. But position yourself when you're along walls, like I said earlier, in a way that the wall is at your back and you can see where you're going and what could possibly see you. Stash spawn right there if you want some more loot. Very rarely do I get engaged at this point. At this point, I'm almost confident I'm free and clear. A free and clear man. Some people, I mean, I guess you could go up there. I rarely see it. Rarely. I rarely see anybody over in this side. Right now, I might even probably been running a couple times by now. But again, when you're running across something that's sketch, when you're moving across something that's sketch, run across it. So we're going to come up on this stash right here. Loot that. Move through here. We're still kind of following the edge of the map. Adjacent from that radar dish. I'm looking down, seeing if anybody's doing the same rotation I am, but in reverse. See how, again, I'm put myself inside of this mini valley. All of the paths I've taken so far, there's not many sight lines. There's a stash over here, so maybe somebody's looting that stash. I'm looking like this. I'm just clearing that all out. You never know, somebody might be right here. And then I'm running across this road, looting the stash, moving on up the mountain. Get some of these trees obstructing my vision. Scavs spawn around this area, so I'm looking. I'll run through all this. This is But at this point, you're at that point back there. You're fine. Okay. So we're getting close to the extract now. You might need to kill Sniper Scav right there. Watch out for these tucked corners. But this hole is another choke point for you. So be careful and clear out all these angles. There's a stash in this bush. If you want more loot, some food and stuff that can spawn here. Maybe you want to approach it slow. Nothing can really see, like, if you look, unless somebody's on this side of the fence, like, nobody's has an angle from you. They only have the angle from where you came from. So, I mean, you could come up here. I look right, clear it. Then I come over here and look left. Maybe do one of these. But at some point, you're just going to have to say, F it. Run. Immediately come down here. Putting myself in another natural valley. Now we're getting to the fun exfil camper spots. So this is our exfil. And if you want more loot, this building's great for loot. Do your thing. You're on the home stretch. There's a stash in that bush. There's a stash that spawns underneath this thing right here. Do your thing. But once you're ready to make your way in here, when I approach this, I kind of put myself more over here, using that building to block one of the exfil camper spots, and using this building kind of as a natural funnel for me to clear. See if they're in these bushes. And then maybe do a jump up here. See if they're in those bushes. I'm backing up. See, wait for the bait the grenade maybe. And then we're in. We made it. All right. So that's the route I take for that spawn to extract to optimize survivability. Of course, there was the industrial route that we're going to take next, coming from the opposite direction. All right, so here we spawned in over at ZB 1011, or at least right next to it. We are right here. So as you can see from these arrows, I do have these spawn points. So spawning here, I've never had somebody spawn that close. I think it's like kind of like one or the other. But again, if I were to optimize my survival and just try to get out and loot on the way, I'd go south and take the way that we just went over in the last raid. But we're going to take the industrial route this time, just in case you want to take that route instead. So generally what I'm going to be doing is taking the northern hemisphere of the map and moving over to Ruaf Roadblock, RUAF, whatever you want to call it. There's other exfil points, but when it comes to the safest route, and when I say safest, it's not going to be safe. It's just the safest. Like, you can get shot at any point. Just odds-wise, putting yourself in the center of the map's not a good spot for survivability unless you can handle it. But yeah, so we're going to be taking the northern hemisphere, going over to Ruaf, because I think that's the safest option if you're going to take this route. So that's what we're going to do. All right. So they have you spawn facing south. I'm going to turn around. And then if you're looking for loot, of course, loot this building. This building's great. Like I said in the last raid, I told you about the stashes. Loot those. Go in there, loot that. Roller building, green screen, whatever you want to call it, is a very popular building to loot. Chances are, though, if you're going to go and loot that building, while you're looting it, you're going to get into an engagement, at the very least, by scavs. This is a very highly dense scav area. So whenever you're done looting all this stuff, doing the things that you're doing, maybe you come in the same route I am. There's some crates up there to loot. Around here. I'm going this way. I'm gonna come over here and check sniper scav. If you want a computer loot, this van, you can open up the back and loot that. Ooh. Yeah, hit that bush like I did. Then I come in here. Maybe you need stamina at this point. Maybe you have the task. But generally speaking, what I'm trying to do is have enough stamina to get over this. Before I do that, obviously you want to look and see, make sure nobody's waiting for you on the other side. But the other routes are generally more hot and more involved. So once you got the stamina, make the jump and head right. Make sure nobody's in these bushes. If you want to loot this building, by all means. It's got some good stuff in it too. I mean, all these buildings do. Shelves. I call this building shelves. People call it water. It's got some good stuff on this back wall right here. On the inside, obviously. But I'm moving this way. Scavs can be all around this building and moving towards old gas. If you want to go inside, there's a door for you right there. Maybe you have the factory key. Do I got it on me? Yes, I do. If you have the factory key and you want to turn on power, head through that door, move the facility, and the power switch is inside that room right there. Feeling like you want to run straight there? By all means. If you're taking the options that I've been listing, most likely you've already gotten into a fight. But yeah, so here I am up on the bridge. Sweeping it. Scavs will be in here if they're not already dead. Or players. Sweeping it. Whichever angle we want to come through. Do the same thing in reverse, but this is kind of a weird left shoulder peek. If it's really clear, then I'll just jump over this right here. But if you want to move underneath the bridge, that's also a good move for survivability, since, again, you can control what you can see and what can see you. There's a weapon crate and stuff, and right there, and loot in there, but it's not already picked over. But if you're just trying to move through this area, I go this way. Here we got a ravine. Watch out for these trees. Some very rarely, but sometimes people can think it's that tree and be in them. I'll just take this green fence in. Bopping the scavs, clearing these bushes. Once I get about here and I'm trying to clear this area, I'll transition over. There's a stash spawn right there, and inside this concrete hole. The popular giving tree. Check that spot. Get some goodies. Once you're about here, you know, I'm checking sniper scav. Clearing. Somebody might be coming from that direction. I'm gonna run out and go left. Looking for potential people. At this point, nothing can really see you as long as you stay this low, unless something runs over that or something comes from your back. So, you know, kind of looking both ways. Stash spawn. I think it's there. Might be that tree. One of these trees is a stash spawn. So once you get about here, this is the end of the road. Go any further or a little bit more further, you'll get sniped. But we're gonna run on the left side, heading towards that tree. Before we do though, and if you have a scope, use it to check out Fortress. See what's going on down there. And use these little slits to see if anybody is looking your way. If not, even if you don't have a scope, still do it. Once you're ready, get your stamina up and run. Keep your vision. I'm looking at Fortress right now. You want to loot that? There's a stash right there. But I'm headed for this. Getting my stamina back up. I'm looking back towards Fortress, making sure nobody's up there looking my way. Scavs can be all around there too. Honestly, if you see scavs, that's a good sign for survivability. I honestly like to keep scavs up because they are like as long as they're not shooting you in the back, they're kind of like mini alarm systems. So one caveat to that is the fact that they can get on that gun, so watch out for that. But basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna run along this blue fence and then make a left. Watch out for sniper scav. You know, we already looked at that one earlier, up there, but one might be over there. Make sure they're dead. You checked over there. The coast is clear. Make a little run across to here at least. Now that we have some breakage, maybe get a little bit more stam. Maybe look, now that they can't see you from that angle, maybe check where we're running to. You can look at crack house is what people call it, medical, whatever you want to call it. Check that gun one more time maybe, and make the run here. This is the most dangerous spot, obviously. Down into this ravine. You need stamina. Get your stamina. If you really wanted to, you could crawl and then hug that wall in, which honestly is probably the safer option. At this point, I'm kind of like, I'm just gonna send it, and I'll just head to this building. Survivability, not your best option. It's good to clear things like that, like I said in the other run, because it is a point of interest. But if you're just trying to make it through some loot, got your little Timmy legs, use this ravine to your advantage. So I was just trying to get away from Fortress, get out of line of sight from Fortress as soon as possible. There is a back door. So when I came out of this ravine and I went left, you can go straight and do this. But, you know, people might be in here. You never know. And on the opposite end, leaving this, I think puts you in a worse spot. So if you were going to come out of that ravine, I'd head left and then just kind of see what's going on here. Maybe get your stamina. Look towards construction. Some crates for you to loot. Watch out for this tree, for these trees. People like the rat in them. I'm keeping this right shoulder peak and I'm just clearing this. Watch out for that tree. So by now, definitely clear that spot. When you're about here, there should be scavs there. If the coast is clear, scavs are there. If there's no scavs, that should be a little concerning. Not a huge deal, but it might mean that there's a player nearby. Here's scavs, then go straight through this hole. Kill them. Like I said earlier, they're like mini alarm systems, so use the mechanics of the game to your advantage. If you hear scavs, there's no players ratting around. You know, for the most part. But when I come through here, I approach it like this, look left, then look right, and head left. Watch out for that spot. I take left because there's a lot of bushes that way, and it's higher density of scavs. When you're about here and you've cleared this, there's not much besides somebody sniping on the other side that can really see you. And then you're just kind of clearing all this. Check this spot for a little repair kit. Watch out for this bush. Somebody on top of that. Let's get about here. Throw it in right here. Some people like to snipe from across, so I go about here and then just look this way. Then we're out. All right, hopefully that'll help you survive a bit better out there in Tarkov. If you got any questions, comments, suggestions, want me to go into more detail on a specific building or route, feel free to throw it in the comments, and I will definitely take a look and see what I can do. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Peace.